This is RSBANDB Update, episode 630, recorded Friday, August 4th, 2017, The Unfinished Polling Business. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us for another episode of RSBANDB Update. We're into August right now. As I mentioned, we would have a new co-host this week, and I am pleased to announce that the co-host for August will be someone who has been a fixture of RSBANDB Update from the outside for quite some time, a good number of years, I think, by now, is the RR Man.
Hello, hello. It's good to finally be on the inside again.
Yeah, you guys might remember him. He used to send in those audio questions with the a cappella version of the theme song.
Oh, that was a long time ago now.
Well, that's a tip for everyone out there. If you want us to remember you in a very strong fashion, you got to do something amazing like that. Once upon a time, we also had Paul PFK99s. His claim to fame, once that his first time he was on the show, was that we were running a contest and he married his best friend on RS.
I didn't go that far.
But in any case, welcome. We have a couple of interesting New Zealand folks lined up this month on the podcast, so should be interesting to see what we get up to here on RSBANDB.
Hopefully everyone can get through the accent.
Oh, no, I'm sure we'll be just fine on that. So, this week we got the beach. The beach is returned on August 31st. Why am I thinking we're at the end of the month already? July 30th.
Yeah, you want to get rid of me already. See you guys.
Okay, so the beach is here. Not too much new from last year. Anything jumping out at you that's different this year, or that is raising your eyebrow?
I usually avoid it like the plague. Okay. I usually have all my other things to do, but
yeah,
I like going in and getting the all the little items, then selling them.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Are they still sellable?
Oh yeah, definitely. I sold something this week for I think it was around 800K. That dropped.
I better head over there then.
Nice little random chances to get that, but it's largely the same beach that everyone's come to know and love, or hate maybe from last year. Coconut Shy Guy, barbecues, muscle building, and of course sandcastle building as well, for that good construction XP, free construction XP. That's what I've been doing there. You can never turn that down. So.
Yeah, true. Got to jump on that when you can.
Every 45 minutes, Claudia will appear. That's, of course, the huge giant crab in the middle of the crater. And Claudia actually looks really interesting this year. I don't know if it was a case of it not being optimized for NXT last year, but this year it seems though we have a new skybox that appears when Claudia comes, just because I guess Claudia is an evil creature, so we got to have some rain and some thunder on the beach to rain on our parade. Also some little raindrops on the screen that are coming down. Kind of gives you a peek of how RuneScape would look if they ever did implement one of those weather systems. So looks really good in NXT.
I'll have to go check that out.
Yeah, I assume you use NXT, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. It's I've never actually been one of those lucky ones that's never actually had an issue with it.
Yeah, same here.
To date.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah. But Claudia spawns every 45 minutes, and you can fight her. And they actually did make some changes to Claudia so that Claudia can be taken down in a world that is not full. So if you're on a world with a moderate number of people, you should be able to take her down, whereas previously you would need to go on a full world in order to do that successfully. So that's a nice little quality of life change right there for Claudia. There's also some new cosmetic rewards this year, including the Claudia Balloon, a sandcastle pet, which is basically a lump of sand that follows you around and shapeshifts into various forms, an octopus pet, gleefully colorful parasols. Oh boy, that's a mouthful. Gleefully colorful parasols.
They're a bit loud. I can see one now.
Yeah. Pyramid hat And the one I'm personally going for, the palm tree hammock rest animation. 2 palm trees appear and you swing on a hammock in between them with your resting pose. That's what I'm going for.
Amazing, yeah.
And they also added a bubble blower. I'm not really much for bubbles. I don't know about you.
Oh, my daughter's a fan, so.
Okay, that works. They also added some new stuff for the Terrorbird racing. If you complete 10 laps of the Terrorbird race this year, you will get the slow-mo running animation. Obviously channeling some kind of Baywatch thing there, because I don't know, was that a popular thing over there in the 90s?
It might have been, but I stayed away from it. The movie looks interesting, though. That's coming out. It's got The Rock in it.
Apparently that movie got really bad ratings.
It's actually already come out. Oh, see,
maybe it's not out for you guys over there.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's a bit of a lag there. But
real life lag.
Yeah, there you go. That reminds me. A long time ago, there was a video put out about living with lag. If you had to live with lag in the real world, and I know I sent that to some other New Zealand people, because you guys are so far away from us here in North America that if you guys are connecting to a North America game server, for example, you guys often have 150 to 200 ping, which isn't doable. So, some lag.
Just learn to live with it, unfortunately.
Some real life lag there. And if you did not complete the Terrorbird race last year, you will have to complete it again this year in order to first get the slow-mo running animation. So that's that. I don't think there's much else to talk about here at the beach. It's a fairly innocuous update. I don't know. What do you think? Do you like the beach kind of update, or would you rather us have something else?
Oh, I feel like they could bring it back a few more times, but it's sort of, if they keep on doing it, and I guess it's a thing now, it's going to just keep coming back.
Yeah. And
it's nicer than some treasure hunter things.
Yeah, true. And if they add new fresh stuff every year, that could make it pretty great as well. Though it's going to be interesting to see what we can expect in the next years because of the confined space that this is in, and maybe things will have to start rotating out. I don't know. But this year it seems as though there's a good amount of XP that we can get from it. So,
for sure.
All right. Well, that's the beach update. It doesn't say in the news post when it disappears. Did you hear anything on that?
Nope. But it's late again, isn't it? Shouldn't this technically come a bit sooner?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not even summer for me. So
that's right.
I'm here looking at this beautiful sand, freezing my butt off.
Well, I mean, winter for you, you're not really freezing anything.
This year's been pretty chilly. Well, no snow.
Has it gone below zero?
I think it did one day. It was, yeah. But, yeah, you're right. It's not like you guys.
There you go. So
I'll stop complaining.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but summer, beach, done.
Done.
I would have liked to have seen this in June, but I'll just leave it at that. Just because, in the U.S., people are going back to school in the next coming weeks. So, anyways, let's move on to the patch notes this week. Not a huge week on the patch note front, but some very interesting things nonetheless. Elder trees now fill farming urns. They did not previously. Of course, these are elder trees that you plant. I don't know if I was clear enough about this on last week's podcast, but if I was training farming actively using trees, I would definitely be using urns because that amount of XP can stack up quite nicely over a day.
So it is quite decent then.
Yeah. It's basically an extra 2k XP per tree when you think about it.
Oh, that's actually really good.
Yeah, because one magic tree fills up 1.5 urns. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh, that's awesome. I'm gonna have to get myself some urns on my on one of my presets now because I actually do the elder trees.
Oh, okay.
Quite often for the daily task.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Mining urns now work with crablets and Sarin stones. I did not previously, and I think it makes sense to make them work with Sarin stones because everyone mines those, right?
Yeah, that's good. I wonder what how much that boosts it per hour.
I don't know, but
be already quite decent.
Yeah,
get some tests on that. Yeah,
great AFK. Woodcutting urns now work correctly with ivy. Okay, that's a bit of an interesting one that was glanced over.
Yeah,
so
interesting. Did they work with ivy before? Or is that... I don't know if they did.
I don't think so, no. I mean, we're going back to 2011 for an urn update, so this isn't really a piece of content I've interacted with all that often. So, let's see here. A threshold of 1,000 has been added to the ancient summoning stone drop from Virago. Now, this is, of course, a thing that was pulled a couple weeks ago regarding allowing people to get the pet. So, obviously, if you're going to have more than 1,000 Virago kills, you're going to have a higher chance of picking up this drop. And, we didn't really get to interact on this because I didn't have the necessary kills or anything like that. Were you allowed to vote on this one?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
I do a Rexor and that's about it.
Okay.
So
all right.
I've mastered my one boss, so I just keep going back to that.
All right. That's good. Also, Dungeoneering Quick Home Teleport upgrade, which is called the Scroll of Quick Teleportation, has been added to the reward trader, available to players for 50,000 reward tokens. And what this does is it makes an instant teleport back to the Dungeoneering throne room. Which, lots of people are happy about because previously you might leave a gatestone in the homeroom if you weren't having it used before, or you would just go through the standard home port animation, which of course takes time. So the fact you can now do a standard teleport there is going to help the dungeoneering flow for lots of people.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a nice little addition. Speed up those boring dungeons a bit more.
And also, in regards to other teleports, a Mazcab teleport spell has been added, both in the spellbook and teleport tab, which can be purchased from the Armorsmith on Mazcab as a raid reward. So another easy way to get to the raids, though. I don't know if going onto Tuska's back was a little bit too hard. I feel like Mazcab is a piece of ignored content for me because I don't do raids and it's just there. And after the last time I was there with that bottle quest. So.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I wish you didn't need so many people for that raid, but I guess that's the whole point of a raid.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
The clockwork bench within a player-owned house can now recreate a batch of items instead of just one at a time. All right. I don't know anyone who trains crafting with clockwork gear. Though maybe this might mean they could be adding something clockwork in the future, perhaps. I don't know.
Possibly. Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, we could just stock up on clockwork cats if that's the case.
Yeah.
Though I don't know about that. The starting and ending cutscenes for the Bork D&D will no longer play after the first attempt. I remember going to do this weekly and seeing these cutscenes every week. And, it almost became a ritual at a point. It's kind of disappointing now that they're gone. But hey, I guess it'll save us a few seconds.
Definitely.
Do you still fight Bork?
No, I did it a few times, but because that's the one that gives you all the summoning charms, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Once I got the 9/9 summoning, I'm done.
Yeah, a great pouch making skill.
Yeah, that's the one.
Players are now locked to one of five locations, each corner in the center within the duel arena when initiating a no movement challenge. So I guess it was
achieve.
Yeah, I guess it was random before. I don't know. But, all right. Now on to the polling update. We did have a couple of polls that were ending this week. Skill pet titles, there were two choices here. Option 1, create a new title for owning all 27 skill pets and leave the Jack of Trades reward as an option for owning 19 non-combat skill pets. And option 2 was award the Jack of Trades title for owning all 27 skill pets and create a new title as a reward for owning 19 combat skill pets. I voted for option 1 to keep Jack of Trades as it is.
Yeah, same. Definitely. Because Jack of Trades doesn't work with combat.
Exactly. And plus, when this came out, when this title with the skill pets came out last year, it was a unique thing that skillers could get with the skilling pets. So with that being said, I think it makes sense to keep it that way. That was the original design, and I think the community here overwhelmingly agreed to this. 64% voted for the first option, and that's what I voted for. So
Very, very happy with that result.
yes, me too. Me too. Now, this next one raises some eyebrows regarding the Slayer skill pet. It's an option should the Slayer skill pet become a combat pet. 62% say yes, it should become a combat pet, and 37% say no, it should not. Where do you sit on this?
Yeah, I actually sat looking at this poll for like 5 minutes trying to figure out where I'd go on it, but I put yes in the end because it's just not. It's a skill, but it's only combat, so I definitely had to. It's got to be a combat one.
Okay. Now I said no because this pet was designed as a skilling pet, and Slayer is not a combat skill. And I don't know, one of you guys out there can maybe correct me on this, but I was under the impression that boss pets and combat pets in general had an extra feature over the skilling pets.
I'm still not sure what it is, though.
I don't know.
If that is a thing.
Like I said, maybe I dreamt this up. Maybe I'm
I'd
wrong.
be disappointed if there was, because that's just another time you're just putting the skillers down.
Right. And I mean,
so yeah, maybe we should keep it as a skill pet.
Right, and that's exactly why I voted yes, because this was when skill pets came out, you had no pets for the 7 combat skills, and when it comes down to it, what is the closest skill that is not a combat skill that relates to combat? It's Slayer. So I think it's neat to have that little hybrid right there, but let's just leave it as a skill pet.
Okay, I'll change my vote. You've convinced me.
There we go. All right. Though I don't think we're going to be changing it at this point. Yes, become a combat pet is winning with 62% of the vote, whereas leaving it as a skill pet should be right now at 37%. And there's only about a day and a half left in these polls, so it's unlikely that we're going to see much of a change on this. So this has been decided.
Well, we've still got to try.
Yeah, and
everyone, get out there and vote.
How are you liking what we have now for the revamped way the polls are working?
No, I'm enjoying it. I always like the polls. I know a lot of people weren't really a fan, but as long as they don't have too many options, like the ones where they have 2 or 3,
and they need to do runoffs, right?
Yeah, those were good last week. When you had the pets, and then if they didn't get to 50%, was it?
50%. There was a runoff.
I like that. They should do that more often as well,
okay.
Especially when they have 5 or 6 options.
Yeah. You know what they could do if they wanted to? They could add a ranked system so that they don't need to do that in the future. So you just rank your choices. But you
don't want to confuse people,
right? But at that point, I mean, you could vote for one thing, but something else might win. So I don't know. We'll talk more about that
system,
later.
but yeah,
because they did have some insights into that. So
all right.
Now a little bit of a mechanical change, a temporary mechanical change to the Treasure Hunter mini game this week. Rather than a promotion to get a specific item or extra lamps or extra XP, they have what are called Oddments, Treasure Hunter Oddments. And these are basically little trinkets that you can get whenever you use a Treasure Hunter key. And they'll stack up, and they're a part of the Treasure Hunter interface, so you don't need to store them anywhere. And this runs from August 2nd until August 7th. And each of these oddments can be exchanged for other prizes, including Treasure Hunter keys, rewards from past community events, such as the Sword of Rattlin, Energized Arm Cannons, and the Mystical Staff. You can even get the Silverhawk boots if you're a member, and the Spring Cleaner at no cost via the Oddments store. So, this is interesting because, I mean, Treasure Hunt has been out for so long and we've never had something like this before. My only issue with this is that they are making it so that you can get past community events like the Sword of Rattlin, Energized Arm Cannons, and whatnot from this as Treasure Hunter reward, when previously these items were available in-game for no cost. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you could just use them to purchase more keys. Maybe.
Could do, yeah. Do you like that they're putting those in there? It's kind of like they're giving rares to...
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I like that.
No,
but,
I don't think I do either. And, I mean... See, this is an issue I think that was bound to come up at some point, right? Because we've had so many of these little 2-week-long community events where if you had been gone previously, you had no way of getting these events, whether it be from the heart or maybe even all the way back to the Port Sarim or Falador event, right? But instead they're coming in through Treasure Hunter, which raises a lot of questions, I think. So I think what might have been a better option if they wanted to bring these into game would have been to have some kind of wild card community event. It doesn't need to be themed to anything. It could just be some kind of, general clean up Falador Park or clean up the area south of Varrock kind of event with no real update associated with it. And then you could gather wildcard tokens from those and spend them on any of the rewards that you might have missed in the past. That would have been my preferred way to go around that.
That's a nice way it could have been done.
And, I mean, they could have ran that for a month or maybe even 2 weeks, and it might have actually given a little bit more meaning to these community events. Because, like it or not, these community events are canon within the game, I think. Sword of Radalin, Energized Arm Cannons, most recently the Build the Beach and the Menaphos event. But can we honestly say that Treasure Hunter is canon within RuneScape?
No. Is it? No, it's not.
And there you go. I mean, until we see Alice in a quest or something.
Oh, God. And maybe we get to kill her as well.
Oh, yeah. We had the option of doing that in the Goblin quest with the Alps, didn't we?
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, that's also where we got Lull the Troll. More on that later.
Lull the Troll, yes.
Ay. That really was the heyday of the polling system, wasn't it? When you had the friggin' troll, LOL.
Yeah, that's the one. It's like that. What is it, Bodie McBoatface?
Oh, yeah. I'm glad that option didn't win. Thinking back to it.
Yeah, it would have been funny for a little while.
But why? I mean, come on.
It won the poll. Come on. I don't even know where it came from. It's just ridiculous.
They were community submitted, I think.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. So this week, Jagex did a stream regarding unfinished business and the month ahead in the Q&A fashion. We're going to talk a little bit about things that are coming in August, but our main focus here is going to be on unfinished business and the things that Jagex are wanting to fix in the game based on what the survey has said feedback-wise. But first, a little bit talk about the achievement system that's going to be coming out later this month. We've kind of already talked a bit about this on the show in the past, but this is kind of an overview of what to expect from the new achievement system. They're adding more achievements for final bosses. Anywhere between 100 to 150 kills will be required here. So it's not going to be huge amounts like thousands as it was expected. It might have been in some early prototypes that they were throwing around to players. Could you imagine 1,000 kills for an achievement? 1,000 Grador kills?
No, please don't put that many in.
Yeah, so
100, I'll deal with 100, but
yeah,
1,000?
Definitely. They also added some more fun-style achievements, which, quote, include killing bosses with rubber chickens.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah.
So that's what we're going to be seeing. They filled out the categories as well. Categories include combat, minigames, miscellaneous, plus a major redesign of the interface that was shown on stream here, which I think is the main thing that a lot of us were hoping for because, when it came down to it, the new system that they put out back in April or May, I want to say, really didn't work all that well.
Try and forget about it.
Yeah. So they're also adding the rune score mechanic, so you basically have a RuneScape gamer score system that you'll be able to compare yourself with your friends. You like that?
Yeah, I'm really pumped for that.
Yeah.
That's going to get that. I think that'll get me going for a little while. I think that'll get me push to get back in the game.
You're going to be able to right-click, examine people, and see what people have completed as their most recent achievements, and compare yourself with them as well. So it really is a huge undertaking here, and it's a lot better than it was before, just from what we've seen. So I can't wait to get my hands on this.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait for the new achievement system.
The new achievement system, that's right. All right. We also got Crystal Chompers that are coming out on August 7th. That's going to be this coming Monday's update, and that was one of Mod Timbo's projects. They're going to be located by the Tyrus Camp, and they're going to have some interesting benefits for people, including 5% better chance to catch when you're fishing, which is going to be good. I mean, it gives people a reason to use this rather than a rod if you're not going for Invention XP. And I think that's the sole purpose of this update, is to allow people an easy way to get a crystal tool without spending a large amount of money. But the biggest thing is going to be a 22.5% better chance of collecting enriched memories when doing divination. And this is going to stack. So much. Yeah, this is going to stack with auras and prayers and any other outfits that you might get. So you can imagine how this will speed up divination training.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's awesome. That's got to be a typo. 22.5%.
No, that came right out of Mod Timbo's mouth.
Wow, that's excellent, eh? I was going for 120 divination for a while, so that's I'm happy with that.
Yeah, and I mean, not to mention that if you do this as your outfit and you have an increased number of enriched, you can convert that into more energy and ultimately become more profitable while doing it.
Yeah, it's good money, man. Good money right there.
That's very amazing. And now here's the real kicker. These Chompers are going to be level 97 hunter required to catch, but they're going to come in at 800 to 900,000 XP, hunter XP per hour.
Wow. That's insane.
It really is. It really is. And there's more to it as well. You're going to catch more based on your agility level. You're going to have a chance to catch between 2 and 4 Chompers per patch. And if you're level 99, level 99 agility, that will guarantee a double catch.
Whoa. It's going to be interesting to see what these things cost.
Yeah, and how many people are actually going to train hunter in a more conventional method. And, I've always felt hunter is kind of a useless skill. And, think back, when was hunter ever useful?
I'm thinking. I'll get back to you next week.
There you go. So my idea behind this is that this could be a way of money making for people. It is a way of using hunter if you're a skill peer, and if you're just training hunter for the heck of it, it's another great way of getting that XP in. So really impressed with this. I'm definitely going to be probably
go try that out.
Going for 99 hunter at some point. Yeah. See,
what level are you?
97. I actually just got that.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, see, and the beach helped with that, because when the beach first came out, I was only about 100 or 200 KXP away from 97, so I just finished that off at the beach.
Nice. All right, well, we're going to be waiting a report from Shane next week.
That's right.
On how these go.
Now on to the unfinished business part of this update, which is why I think we're all here and what we're all wanting to hear about, how the survey impacted unfinished business and what Jagex feels is the important aspects of this. So we started off this week with an update regarding the bank rework, which I think is something that a lot of people wanted. That's an update that I was really looking forward to this year, but suffice to say it won't be coming this year. According to Jagex, there's only a small number of people who know how the bank system in-game currently works, and those people are tied up with other projects, so therefore work is currently paused.
That's not really what you want to hear, is it?
No, it's not.
No one knows how your money's being stored.
Yeah, well, I mean, legacy system going back to RS2, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
So, that's unfortunate, but I am of the opinion I would much rather have them put something out, have it be finished, and have a golden product at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, okay, now the big elephant in the room, mining and smithing. So, Jagex had another revelation this week for people. They weren't up front with people on the amount of trouble that this update has caused them. And to do a full rework of the mining and smithing skills, they would need to see changes to monster drops, to drop tables, to lots of things that basically impact every facet of the game. And as a result of that, people felt that, maybe, or Jagex felt that maybe we should kind of just hold off on the time being and propose some other kind of feature. Because the question that came up was, is mining and smithing in-game as it is right now something that is causing people to quit the game? Like, have you ever heard someone who quit the game because mining and smithing wasn't good?
Well, no, but that's not the point. Okay. Everyone wants this update. It was like top of the list,
right?
Wasn't it? A couple of
right.
times.
They said they've been talking about it since 2012. To be honest,
exactly.
And they said it's not the reason why people leave the game. The tutorial or coming back after the game has changed and trying to figure out the game. And even some people's frustration with minigames has caused them to stop playing the game and not come back. So as a result of that, they don't feel it is worth the time and effort at this time to put in the huge mining and smithing rework. They said it's still going to be discussed in the background and be prototyped to, make it a true rework of the skills, but they want to get something out there sooner rather than later. And the amount of time it would take to look at a piece of content like this is on the order of 9 months, which would effectively make it an expansion. And we know what happened to the game when Jagex started developing expansions, right?
Mm.
So they kind of went full circle on this update of wanting to do something for it, but then realizing it would make it expansions again, and then that puts them in the situation they were initially in. So, I don't know. How does this make you feel before I say what Jagex is proposing?
Makes me disappointed.
Right.
They say it takes 9 months. They've had what? What did you just say before? They've had like 3 or 4 years. I don't.
Yeah.
Surely they could have got something right after all this feedback they've been given.
And what makes it more complicated for them is that in the survey this year, we had a poll question that says, which of the 2 statements do you most agree with? A skill rework should protect the skill's identity and methods of training. 45% said this, but 47% said a skill rework overhaul of a skill should perhaps change the way it's trained. So 47% wanted to change the way it's trained, while 45% wanted to maintain its core identity. So the reasoning for not doing something grandiose right now is that half the player base would disagree with it.
Yeah, is that kind of like a trick question in a way, though?
What do you mean?
It says it will protect its identity and methods of training. That doesn't. If you select that, it doesn't mean that you have to completely change it. Maybe that just means people want it adjusted, made more modern. It doesn't mean you have to completely destroy everything from before. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, I think I know what you're getting at. Like, basically, mining's core identity is taking a pickaxe and smacking a rock and getting something from it, right?
You don't have to take that away.
Yeah, you don't have to take that away.
No.
And smithing is using this ore, converting it to a bar, and making something else useful. So, you're right, because you could protect the core identity of a skill and method of training, but you could even add in extra ways of training it.
Exactly.
And maybe that's why this question was so split.
Right down the middle.
Yeah.
It's one of those questions that's maybe possibly made to confuse people.
I should consult with some of my statistical experts here. I know people who are very adept with numbers and statistics and
just the way you word questions and stuff like that.
Okay, I'm going to make a note to do that. It's also worth noting that there is less than 1,000 or just over 1,000 difference between these 2 options. So 49,859 people answered the question in total, which when you think about it is a lot. So I don't know. I mean, I voted for that it should ultimately protect its identity. But with that same thing in mind, I saw the smithing design document that Jagex published last year and threw away as still protecting that identity. Yeah. So I don't know if you felt the same or...
Yeah. It's just those tricky questions, eh? To be honest, I can't remember which one I picked, but I'm sitting here thinking right now, which one would have I picked?
Right?
It's just that they're not really 2 different options.
And a whopping 6% said I'm not interested in skill reworks.
Yeah, so it's only 6%, so...
Yeah. Okay, and Jagex's thought on this, specifically from Mod Osborne, was that, if we were to do this, he says, quote, we would annoy 1/2 the player base.
And he's just taking that from the previous poll we just talked about, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So... And if it is a tricky question, that statement's not correct.
Yeah. And ultimately, what came from this is that the company is in a position where there are large updates such as mining and smithing and the mobile update and some others that they didn't announce that it eats away from other potential content they could be doing. So quests, bosses, combat content. Then that brings Jagex ultimately back to doing expansions where you lump huge amounts of content in with one thing, and we saw what happened with that. So, I don't know. It seems like a catch-22 situation, really, that they need to break out of here.
Yeah.
But what came from this is what people ultimately want from the mining and smithing rework is high-level content. Useful combat armor, profitable at a high level, and having an untradeable benefit. Those were the top three things that people actually wanted from this update. And I actually have a capture here of the screen of what people wanted from the mining and smithing rework, and it goes as follows with this. So number one was useful combat armor. I think we can all agree with that because there are people like myself included who don't want to have to go to God Wars or, Araxor to get decent weapons and armor. It just doesn't make sense. And that's how RuneScape was back in the olden days where smiths provided the armor and whatnot. It would be nice to have that as an option these days.
Basically, you can basically reword that statement just to be, I want smithing to be useful.
Yeah. Another one was mining and smithing profitable at high level. And this, of course, comes in that we would need to change drop tables. And we saw what happened in the last rework when they talked about coal and how people were going to see coal as being devalued. The community lost it at that. So as a result, that prevents this from being done because everyone values the high GP drops from NPCs. And there needs to be something done if they're taken away to make them feel almost equal again. So... yeah. And, I feel this is the hardest bullet point to capture because the people who do combat and PVM are really reliant on these drops to make money. But on the same end, we, people who want to do the skilling side of it, need something that we can sell from the skill that is unique and that can't come from those. So catch-22 again. The third one was I want smithing to bring an untradeable combat benefit for high levels like overloads, for example. I think that makes sense, and quite honestly, today that could be added into game if Jagex wanted to. So that's where the next one goes to. Yeah,
just the what was it? It was like the sharp. How'd they put it? It was like a sharpening rock they had in one of the.
Something
that was a good. I like that idea.
Yeah. I want mining to be the best way to get ore. That's number 4, and once again referring back to the skilling side of things, which makes sense, I think. It shouldn't be an option to go kill aviancies for adamant bars. So
no, this just makes me so sad.
Yeah, because there's so much good stuff in here, but there is no clear mandate from the side here of Jagex to do it. I mean, They could put this whole update into a poll and put the massive rework in there and vote on it. But the question is, what threshold would that have to be successful with? Because they mentioned EOC in this stream. That is in the back of their mind constantly when it comes to this. So, number 5, I want the practice of training, mining, and smithing to be a little more streamlined and reactive. I don't know what that means, but okay.
Just a statement.
Yeah. 6, I want the requirements of mining and smithing ores to be reduced to the level that they are for combat, so rune at 50. So this was way down at the bottom here, number 6. And Jagex thought this would be near the top, which was interesting. I think this would be nice.
I definitely put this higher. Sorry.
Yeah. I think this would be nice, but at the same time, I think you could fix this by maybe adding a new ore somewhere in the 90 tier. And bring in that whole cataclysmic ore mechanic where you could combine some kind of cataclysmic ore with the existing Addian rune ore to make some kind of supreme bar that would be used to make the supreme high-end armor. And that would then, once again, make mining interesting because you could only get this ore from actually mining it.
Yeah, you're getting me all excited again, eh?
Right?
I love that. I love those design documents they did, eh? Oh, it was so cool.
Yep.
Just damn you, Jagex.
Number 7, I want mining and smithing to be more fun and sociable.
Understandable where it is, I suppose.
Yeah, and I mean, it can be sociable right now. Just go to Saren Stones and strike up a conversation, or the Living Rock Caverns. And number 8, people don't really care about the Artisan's Workshop because this is last. I want the Artisan's Workshop to remain a good training method after a smithing rework.
That's definitely the lowest priority.
Yeah. So, all right. So moving on from this, Jagex came up with the idea. What if instead of doing this, we added a high-level content update that would basically allow us to hold off on the other parts of this update for later? And they did a straw poll with this on stream, and 70% of this were in favor of this.
Oh, it's interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, there was a good number of votes with it, and 70% is a lot. So basically what they're going to do now is they're going to flesh out the idea, do a dev diary on it, and then bring it to an in-game poll, which is something that they learned from the old school crew, is that if you pair a poll with a dev diary, it's more likely to get a more wholesome response, let's say. So
yeah.
I think that'll be good. And, I have mixed feelings about this. Like, I personally would be okay with waiting for a huge, ginormous mining and smithing rework at some point. But at the same time, if you're looking at this from a PR perspective, what is the number one thing you want to do when you're dealing with a bunch of people who are expecting something?
Not keep them waiting.
That's right. You don't want to keep them waiting, and you want to keep them happy. So if they could knock this update out within the next 6 months or so, that might be something that would tick off a huge check mark on this unfinished business list, providing at some point in the future the mining and smithing rework, the full rework, will still be talked about, which is what they said would be the initial plan.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I myself would rather just wait, I think. They're just adding more to the pile. It's just more stuff they have to work out after.
When the straw poll was happening, I voted that I would rather wait. But then I was, later that night, I was thinking, okay, so that is what I would want personally from RuneScape. But if I was developing this content and I wanted to make an impact and I wanted to ensure that people were enjoying my game and at the same time, I would endeavor to push out a smaller update just to kind of smooth over the rough edges of the skill and kind of get the skill going in the right direction. Because like it or not, we can have an update and it can be a good update, but if it's something that people wait so long for and it underdelivers, i.e. Menaphos, that's not good. So
we don't want that again.
Right. So if you can get something out that's a little bit smaller and a little bit more bite-sized, then you probably have a winning situation right there. So I don't know. We'll have to see what that would entail. But I think if they were able to kind of provide a true skilling benefit to mining and smithing without doing the ginormous update, I think that would be a good thing from Jagex's PR perspective. And like I said, it could be simple. All they need to do is, add a new type of ore at level 90 and then add some cataclysmic stuff at 70, 80, and 90 for the 3 new tiers, and then combine those with Addy, Rune, and the new ore, and then voila, you got the bars to make new armor and new weapons that are useful for people at high levels, and then throw in some kind of overload mechanic, and boom, 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 you got a brand new mining and smithing update at high level.
Yeah. You make it sound so easy, Shane.
I do make it sound so easy at a high level, but at the end of the day, an update like this would probably take 6 to 8 months to
so I think we'll be waiting until next year.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, but I don't know. More on polls later.
It just makes you wonder what they're going to do for the rest of this year.
Yeah, that's right, and we will apparently get some reveals about that at RuneFest. So,
wait and see.
Yeah.
More waiting.
Yeah. Invention Batch 2 was supposed to be part of Expansion 2, as was revamped models for God Wars Dungeon 1. So I don't know what they were going with that theme, but hey, those are things that are supposedly coming this year. So we have that to look forward to.
Oh, that's good then. Oh, at least one thing.
Yeah. Anything else on mining and smithing before we move on?
No, I think we should move on before I start crying.
Yeah, all right. Klusko rework. A new die will be pulled in-game next week. Okay.
So guess they have a few options.
Yeah.
Any ideas what that'd be?
No.
Yeah. That could be fun.
I don't know why we need that, but okay. They're also going to pull emote clues of what should be done with those, because everyone knows emote clues are the number one reason why hard and medium clues are actually harder than elite clues. At least I find that.
Yep.
Let's see. A new tier of clue scroll called the Master Clue Scroll.
Do we really need this?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
They're also going to be adding a clue scroll collection log, kind of like the boss drop logs, where it'll log all the clue scroll items you receive. It won't be retroactive.
Yeah, of course.
They're also looking at the ability to get clue scrolls from skilling.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. And also hidey holes for storing equipment at the emote areas when you get there.
And that's another thing which will be handy, because all those random little items you have to keep in your bank, eh?
Yeah, I got an entire tab for that.
Wow. Hey, it'd be cool if the master tier clue scrolls would just be from skilling. Imagine the rage that would put out.
Oh, oh yeah. You know how to throw the shade on the combat people this episode.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Well, I enjoy skilling, so I won't stop you with that.
All right, fair enough.
Invention Batch 2 was also talked about. Devices are done. They're in the QA stage. Machines are in production. Potential machines will include the power generator and potion maker and the auto alker. These machines will be built on hotspots in the rooms off of the Invention Guild. Another one they're working on is the auto siphon mechanic that'll automatically siphon your tools once you reach a certain specified level. So you don't always need to do it manually if you're training and you forget and you train half a level. So that's a nice little change that's coming.
Yes. I'm excited for this.
Yeah.
And did they mention when this is? It's definitely this year.
I think it's this year, given by the fact that the devices are done and are in QA. So it would make sense to have it this year because it was going to be part of expansion 2. I'm quite interested to see how the potion maker will work. Apparently you give it unfinished potions and secondaries, and then it gives you a bulk load of herblore XP, I'm guessing, but there might be more mechanics to it than that.
I love that sort of thing, eh? Where you can walk away from the game and you'll come back.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's all done it for.
Especially with herblore, because, herblore is still one of the click-intensive skills, even with the Make X system. So
yeah,
it's made a lot easier with bank presets.
Do they ever say you get reduced XP, eh? Or is it, or...
I don't know. There was nothing mentioned about that, but it would make sense that it would have to be reduced XP.
Yeah.
Because you're producing them in bulk, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
what was the power generator?
I'm not sure exactly what that is going to be about. So
interesting. Yeah, it'd be cool. I can't wait for this.
Yeah, see, we're getting people excited with Invention, and this is ultimately, I think, what Invention should have looked like when it came out.
Yeah.
There will be a dev diary on all this in the next couple of weeks.
Cool.
And this will also include general fixes such as removal of inspiration, simplification of parts, and an easier way of viewing what a given component will produce in terms of perks. And they're still working on reasons to level up your items beyond level 10.
Sorensen will love that. He just got his weapon to level 20.
Ooh.
That took him a while.
Ooh. All right. Also, daily scape reductions, that's in pre-production. Mod Maltaire is looking at the idea of accumulating certain tasks, so being able to do a bulk load of, say, sinkholes or Guthix caches. But what they don't want to do is remove certain distractions and diversions to make it easier on people, which I think is a key point.
This will be interesting.
Yes. Evil Dave quest currently under construction. They want to have that Gower quest vibe to it. It's progressing. No ETA on release yet. There's going to be 2 more quests this year, and Mod Osborne is personally lobbying to get 3 quests out this year.
You'll be happy with that?
Yes, we like quests.
Yeah. You like quests.
Oh, you don't?
Well, I can do them.
Oh, that might be a bit of a deal breaker then.
Yeah, I'm off the show next week, guys.
All right. Graphical reworks of Sears Village and Witch's House. Sears Village is a secondary project. Progress is slower, kind of paused right now at the stage it was last when we saw it. Witch's House is an in-between project that was given to the team that developed Menaphos between when they transitioned from Menaphos to Clue Scroll, so it was just a quick little project along the way. And the logic behind that was that it's so close to where you start the game, that area better look good. Combat pets that we just voted on in the polls, 2 models have started. They're in very early stages, and the attack and defense pet concept art has been completed and will be ready to move on to the modeling stages when modelers are available.
Cool.
All right, you ready for the real nuggets of this stream?
Yeah, man.
So, the polling system will be getting an update to be made more comprehensive, they said. Now, here's a huge omission from Jagex. The polling system wasn't used properly, they said. We started off with some big polls, and down the line they were community design and designed by committee polls, and as a result we'd end up with something winning with only 23% of the vote, and then that turned into that we've got to have a poll for something, and then we've got to create something, and that's how you end up with LOL the Troll. And they said that obviously didn't go down too well. So... polls in the future will be preempted with dev blogs like they are in old school, and the polling system in-game will be getting a revamp to handle potential runoffs right off the bat.
That's good.
You know...
Big brave.
I have...
Big brave there.
Yeah. And, you know, I have mixed feelings about that because I think the poll system had promise with the fact that, you know, if Jagex designed an idea and put them out, that works. But at the same time, when you put player-designed ideas on the polling system, you get some really bastardized updates with that. Key point, LOL the Troll. So, I don't know. Maybe it's time to have a revamp at the polling system and see what Jagex has learned along the way, which was really surprising it took this long. So.
Yeah.
Anyways. Are you willing to give polls a second chance?
Yeah, definitely. I love polls.
Okay.
Polls all the way.
All right. I will give them a second chance as well then, even though I would much rather prefer that Jagex be making all the decisions behind the scenes because that is, after all, what we pay them for.
Oh, yeah, of course. I should say I prefer it when it's the polls that Jagex have decided what the options are, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. No more Rune Labs.
Yeah. All right. Shattered Worlds anima rates will be tweaked. That is in QA right now, so that should probably be coming in September, I would imagine. Chests will restore prayer, summoning, and life points. And there's going to be many updates along the way to make it feel like more mini-bossing experiences.
Definitely needed.
Yes, absolutely. The Ninja team will be making use of the new polling system to determine how many people actually want proposed Ninja updates, which I think this is a key point because, you know, the people who make these Ninja updates are software developers. And if anything that I've learned is that software developers love creating things. And when they love creating things, they are likely to think, oh, this is a good idea. Let's put this into game. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the vast majority of the player base will find that useful. So their exact wording on this is there's no point in creating an update for only 3 people, which
that's actually a really good point.
Yeah, and Sirion and I discussed this last week, that what is the requirement to determine what kind of update will make it through the ninjas? And if it's a very small requirement, that's not good for the game because it doesn't make sense that people can just be adding toggles willy-nilly to RuneScape.
Yeah. I've never actually thought of that before, but yeah, it's sort of like if someone will suggest it on the site that's not named, and then gets a few upvotes, and they just do it.
There you go. There you go. So,
that's good.
Updated models for God Wars Dungeon Generals are in progress right now. That came from Expansion 2. They're also going to be adding some high-level Slayer monsters in the next few months, and this is going to be 3 new Slayer monsters in the range of 99 to 120. So. Because people felt that what came with Menaphos just wasn't enough.
It's funny, it makes me think it's like we never actually found out fully what Expansion 2 was going to be.
That's right.
Because it sounded like it was just going to be a whole bunch of little things put together, which is not really an
so,
expansion.
I mean, we know Invention and we know God Wars Dungeon now, so...
How is that connected?
I don't know.
That'd be an interesting question to ask, because I'm sure they could just tell us now that it's sort of cancelled.
Someone asked that.
Yeah, someone do that. Get on that for us.
The top option for potential new skill down the road coming from the 2018 survey is to do something new, like what Dungeoneering did for the game, which I have to actually get behind, even though I don't like Dungeoneering, because when you think about it, Dungeoneering was probably the last revolutionary update that came to the game.
Really? Dungeoneering?
Well, if you think about how much new tech it required to create instance rooms and whatnot.
I'll give you that.
I'm not speaking just necessarily on what it does for the front-facing lore game. I'm talking technical underneath.
Yeah.
So, that's the way I see that. And also, as we mentioned before, that was the last update that Andrew Gower worked on. So
True. Yeah.
Just two more nuggets from this behind-the-scenes stream here. Clans, they're probably going to do something with clans in 2018, but unsurprisingly, clans came low in the priority list here. Because
sad, but understandable.
Yeah, it is. Because, I mean, there's only so many people who use the clan permission system in-game that most even clan members wouldn't vote to have an improvement for it. And unless you've actually played with this system, you don't know how cumbersome it actually is to find ranks and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that is the behind-the-scenes and unfinished business Q&A from this week. Some interesting things came out, and definitely got some stuff to look forward to going forward.
Exactly.
All right. Any other RS stuff before we move on?
No, let's continue.
Okay, so we do have a discussion topic this week from JamAndy52, and he says, do you think they will have a batch 2 of the beach like last year? And what are your favorite rewards from the beach? The beach is my favorite event of the year. I've never finished, and I hope to this year. RIP Skill of the Month, LOL. Last year, the strength was the best one for tokens. Any idea what it is now? Ice cream is tradable next week.
That's cool.
A batch 2 of the beach like last year. I'm guessing this means maybe a new set of tools.
Yeah, did they?
For
Yeah.
this? Because, the beach this year is largely a supplant of last year's beach. So, I don't exactly know what is referred to here by batch 2, but if I had to guess, it might be maybe some kind of beach update for next year, because I don't think we're going to see any updates to the beach this year.
Yeah, it seems quite full already.
Yeah. And I already said my favorite reward is the palm tree resting animation. How about yours?
Oh, that sandcastle pit actually sounds kind of cool.
Yeah,
to be honest.
yeah. And the thing is, you can buy all
Quite
these from the Grand Exchange if you don't just want them. So it's not a huge stretch to get these. So, the beach. Let's see. Best for tokens. Unfortunately, no, I don't know what the best one for token is. But strength is the best one for tokens, and it looks like to me strength is the same as it was last year. I would probably be willing to wager that it's going to be the best also this year.
There you go.
Just because most, if not all, the things at the beach this year look pretty much the same. So, though, with that being said, I really have only got one thing, and that was when doing the sandcastle. Though it might go based on actions. In that case, it would make sense that the strength one is the best. So, and yes, ice cream tradable next week. I noticed that because I was getting huge stacks of ice cream, and if you buy ice cream, you can just basically stay at the beach forever.
Can you use more than... Is there not a limit on how many you can use?
No, you can use as many ice creams as you have.
Oh. Was that always the way?
Yeah, it was. And there's actually an achievement for using... Or sorry, not an achievement, a title for using 50 ice creams. If you use 50 ice creams, you get the chilled title.
The chilled. Our man, the chilled.
Yeah, I think it's...
that doesn't work.
I think it comes after the name. So
after the name.
Yeah. But... and
have you got a title on you at the moment?
Yeah, I use the Ultimate Quester.
Ah, yes, true. That makes sense. I've got the of Gillinor, so I've got the R Man of Gillinor.
Oh, that's nice.
So since I couldn't get R Man, I thought that worked quite well.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I use the Ultimate Quester because in Clan Quest, and my cape is the Master Farming Cape, which very rarely leaves me. So rather than using the Quest Cape, that's what I chose to do. And, if you guys are like Quest or you're looking for a clan to join, Clan Quest is always a nice place to be. So just pop into the friends chat if you'd like to, or sorry, the clan chat, Clan Quest, if you'd like to begin the process of joining.
Nice. So have you recently washed that cape since it's always on you?
No. It's never been washed.
It's never been washed. Jeez.
It's been everywhere.
A rich soil smell.
Yep. Everywhere from the farming patch at Catherby down to the automatons in the Guthix dungeon to Kethsey.
If that cape could talk.
It's seen a lot. All right. So there's our favorite rewards and batch 2. I don't know. Maybe next year. Maybe. If you guys want to send questions in, update.rsbnb.com/ask. It's a forum topic. Call or text 571-57BNB, which is 571-572-2632. Or you can leave us a DM on Twitter. We have our DM set to public, so we don't need to follow you to send. So you can send us a direct message.
Good. And as Shane said before, let's get some audio questions in.
Yes, audio questions are great. Like yours used to be.
That's the one. Just jump on Audacity, record something, and then just email it to Shane.
Yeah, and I mean...
Easy as.
I mean, even if you live in the U.S., the best way to do that is to just pick up the phone and phone that number that I mentioned and leave a voicemail. Because everyone has a phone, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, hopefully. Though I wouldn't recommend that if you're from a foreign country because it is a local U.S. number, so it'll probably cost you a lot to
Very
call
expensive.
In. Yeah. All right. So, on to tech news we go. We got some interesting stories this week. Instagram stories turn 1 as daily use surpasses Snapchat. You a Snapchat user?
Yeah, I am actually.
What about Instagram?
No, I haven't. Oh, I've got it, but I haven't. Don't really use it.
Okay.
I don't see the point.
So basically, Instagram put out their Snapchat feature, or their Snapchat clone feature, known as Stories, last year, and instantly it got more users than Snapchat did. So that raised the question: what is Snapchat doing? So as a result of this, it's been out for a year, and leave Snapchat in a very interesting spot here. Because, when it comes down to it, half of the business on Instagram last year revolved in half of the businesses who used Instagram last year, produced a story. And it boosted the app's Instagram's usage by upwards to 32 minutes a day for those under 25 and 24 minutes per day for those 25 and up. So if you have someone spending 32 minutes a day in your app, you're doing something right.
That's pretty decent.
Yeah. And, Facebook could ultimately be doing this as a way to stop Snapchat and prevent them from doing well. But they don't need to do that because Snapchat's user growth has dropped 17.2% in the last quarter to just 5%. And its price... its initial IPO price was $17, briefly spiking to about $24, has dropped to $12.93.
Oh, man, it pains me. The people that bought those shares. Why?
Right?
Gee.
Whereas Instagram Stories now has 250 million users a day compared to Snapchat's 166 million. And Instagram also beats Snapchat on the time amount spent in the app. So Snapchat is really probably wasn't the best to go public at that time, given they're a one-trick pony when you look at it, and what they ultimately have to rely on is selling filters, selling advertisements to people, and if they don't do that, they got nothing. Whereas Instagram can kind of be a little satellite business of Facebook, where Facebook generates all the money, and Instagram can be a way to bring people into the platform. So. Definitely some problems with that. And furthermore, it came out this week that Facebook initially tried to buy Instagram for $3 billion. This was last year. Then Google tried to buy Snapchat for $3 billion.
Oh, Snapchat.
Yeah. And then Google tried to buy Snapchat for $30 billion, but was turned down because Snapchat decided to go public instead. So the idea is that given the failing user numbers and the failing ability to turn a profit on its IPO, Snapchat could ultimately end up being sold off to either Facebook or Google because, I don't know why Google would have wanted this because Google's not really in the social business anymore. So, I mean, it might be an interesting ad platform for them, but beyond that, I don't know. So, who knows? But,
yeah.
It just goes to show that Snapchat really ain't all it's cracked up to be. I think if you want to share photos, you might as well be on Instagram.
Sounds like it. Might have to switch.
Yeah. And plus, Instagram, I think, has a nicer interface and isn't laced with ads. So,
yeah. No, fair enough.
All right. So our next story is about Windows 10, and the next version of Windows 10 will include built-in eye tracking if you have an appropriate camera.
Oh, it won't if I tape over my camera.
You think it might be a way to track yourself, but there's actually an accessibility use case for this. If you have ALS or some other neuromuscular disease that prevents you from using your hand, and for a while it's been a pioneering field in computer interaction that you can use eye tracking to control your computer, but often you needed specialized software and a very expensive hardware to do that. So Microsoft wants to innovate on this field by adding eye tracking to Windows 10, and it's going to be called Eye Control, and anyone will be able to navigate the Windows operating system using their gaze, so you can launch apps, type, and perform other common tasks just by focusing your eyes on the right part of the screen. They're partnering with a company called Tobii Eye Control, and it's also very interesting that Tobii, the Tobii company, and their products have huge compatibility, which is something that Microsoft is always known for. So, I think this is a very logical step because you remember when Jagex did the special effect weekends in February, not this year, but last year, right?
Yep.
One of the things special effect does is it enables people to play video games who might have impairing disabilities. And one of the things that special effect does is set people up with this third-party eye tracking software, allowing them to control their computer and ultimately play games. So the fact Microsoft is pioneering on this takes this technology down a level and is going to bring it to a whole new selection of people for probably a reduced cost, which, when you think about it, is really a great thing to do. Just imagine being able to not play RuneScape if you lost the use of your hands, and you would be able to control it with your eyes.
It's crazy, huh?
Yeah. So lots of research goes into this, and it's really great to see Microsoft doing this. And, this is, I think, the first of the next generation of accessibility hardware and software for modern PCs, Macs included. So.
Wonder how well that works when you have a lazy eye. I've got a bit of a lazy eye sometimes, especially when I'm tired. I'm just wondering if it will really confuse the computer.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh, well, I would actually be keen to try it out.
Yeah, and I'd imagine it would probably come not in this fall's update, but maybe one of next year's Windows 10's updates. So
awesome.
All right. So moving on to our final piece of tech news this week, Apple has removed VPN apps from the Chinese App Store. So for those of you guys who aren't aware, a VPN is a virtual private network, and it effectively allows you to send your internet traffic securely over the internet from the computer you're on to some other computer in a different location. And any traffic you use or you send through that will not be readable by anyone. So say you're in Canada and you have a VPN set up in Germany. So you connect to this VPN, and any traffic you send through this VPN will be encrypted and be unable to be read, providing the encryption is strong. And then when it comes out of the VPN in Germany, it'll look like you're coming to Germany, and then it'll proceed on to its standard destination. So that's what a virtual private network, or VPN, does. So In a move to comply with China, Apple has removed a number of VPN apps from the Chinese App Store. And, as you guys probably know, this is no surprise because China has a huge censor on the internet and basically allows and determines what people are able to read if you're accessing the internet from within mainland China. And Apple has complied with this request. And as a result of this, Apple is passing this off as saying, okay, we're just complying with the laws in the regions where we want to operate because what company in the modern era does not want to operate in China because of the huge potential user base that exists there, right? Yeah. So ExpressVPN, one of the companies who had their app removed, said that Apple explained that its products violated Chinese law and said that, quote, all major VPN apps for iOS are being removed from the store. And another company, StarVPN, also had this reaction. Apple released a statement to TechCrunch citing new Chinese regulations, saying that earlier this year, China's MIIT announced that all developers offering VPNs must obtain a license from the Chinese government. We have been required to remove some VPN apps in China that do not meet the new regulations. These apps will remain available in other markets where they do business. So, of course, people also say Apple is aiding Chinese censorship agenda. But, of course, Apple says they're just complying with the laws that exist in that state. So, you might think China, we don't really need to worry about that because it's China. That's not going to happen here. But the question I think that everybody should be asking themselves after this is that, Apple is doing this, and I don't know if Google would do this, but if Apple is doing this, what kind of apps would Apple remove, say, from the U.S. App Store if they were asked to do that by the U.S. government, or even the UK App Store, because the UK has been flirting with a law that would prevent any application that dealt with encrypted messaging to not be allowed to have encryption in the UK. So it's a very interesting question about what would happen if this happened in one of our regions, and would there be a backlash against it? And I think it's something that we should all take general note of, is that Apple is willing to censor based on what a country says to do business there. That's their own choice, but it doesn't make it right. So, I don't know. What do you think?
That sounds like an awful place to live, to be honest.
Yeah.
They're making it more and basically, at what point are they going to just have no internet there?
Right, or just internet websites from within China itself. So, I mean, you'd like to try and find a way around this, but I don't think there's any real reasonable way around this. So I don't know. I just have to say that, if Apple decided to censor in the US, Canada, New Zealand, or Australia, or even the UK, what would that mean for us, right? And that's a question I have to ask. I don't know if Google would do this as well, but
let's hope not.
But this is where open platforms really comes to bear. But at the same time, if you want to be using an iOS device, you really have no choice. So it's a chicken and the egg scenario. So.
Come over to Google. Come over. Come over to Android.
We can have we'll find a piece of tech news where we can have a chat about that.
All right, deal. I'll hold you to that.
Okay. Alrighty.
They're just doing a check on my Samsung, making sure it's not heating up.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Good job. Did you hear that the Samsung Note 7 ones are going to be selling again? The refurbished ones are going to be called the Fan Edition.
I love that. Like, why did they use that name? Is it a fan because I put a fan in it, like a physical fan to cool it down or something? It's odd. I guess they got to do something with all those phones, but shoot. We
had so much fun with that story.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Weeks and weeks of it.
That's right. It's a story that just kept giving.
Yeah, that's the one.
So we're going to move on to Skill of the Month update right now. Our invention skill of the month in August. And oh boy, this is shocking. JamAndy52 has 60 million invention XP gained in the first 3 days.
Gee, man, that's insane. 60 million.
Average XP of 20 million per day. Second place is X-Blades with 5.8. And third place is Pernasius with 1.2.
Wow, Pernasius starting on 190 mil.
Yeah.
I did not know he was that high. Wow.
And can only get 10 million XP more.
Yeah.
So
sorry, Per. Well done, Gem Andy, though. Wow.
Yeah, that's just shocking.
Yep.
Let's see. That is the hugest one-day gain ever, I think.
It's got to be. And also, you got to remember, possible. Even if he did buy XP, that XP is still reduced. So
yeah, exactly.
That is impressive. Yeah. He's been waiting for this skill of the month, I think.
Indeed. All right, we do have some achievements of the week, and a whole lot of them at that. So I'll just go for about half, and then you can pick up the way somewhere through. Sounds good?
Oh, okay, then.
I wasn't going to make you read them all.
All right, thank you.
All right, so first up, we got Fire Mana with 99 Herblore on August 3rd. Next up, continuing on the 3rd, we have Catmac with 99 Mining. Seabreeze24 got 99 Farming. Nice one right there. Good job. Vi got 99 Ranged on the 3rd. Moving on to the 2nd now, a Seafarer got 99 Constitution. Douglas Fir, that's a nice tree, got 99 Prayer. Kexi with 99 Constitution. Moving on to the 1st, Daniel J. Saint with 120 Slayer. I'm Bara OK, 99 Invention. Superjet with 99 Construction. Pernasius with 120 Constitution on July 31st. Congratulations. Kebab Thief with 99 Divination on the 31st. Mandy with 99 Summoning on the 31st. Moving on to the 30th now. A Seafarer with 99 Firemaking. Magic Hunter with 99 Herblore. Wolfotopia with 99 Woodcutting. And Magic King with 99 Divination on July 30th.
You leave me with the difficult one. Is that Cyan?
I guess.
99 Hunter, July 30th. Karen Angel, 99 Thieving on the 30th of July. Errant, 99 Hunter, 29th of July. These going backwards. Do they always go backwards?
Yeah, they always go backwards.
Tim 2, 99 Invention on the 29th of July. Ariant on the 29th of July got 99 Invention. Farming, that's for you, Shane. And Dungeoneering.
Thank
Get
you.
that 120. And Super TJ, 99 Runecrafting on the 29th of July. And I'm Bara OK, 120 Magic on the 28th of July. My birthday.
Oh, happy birthday. And congratulations to everyone else here who got great achievements this week.
All right.
There are a lot of them this week. It's like everyone saved it for the end of the month.
Yeah.
All right.
Almost like a double XP weekend.
Yeah, it's like they're almost waiting for you, maybe.
Yeah.
So, what do you got for pick of the week this week?
Well, I've got a book that probably a lot of people who listen to the show have already read. It's called Ready Player One. And I've been meaning to read it for a long, long time. And I finally jumped into it when I saw the trailer that was released a few weeks ago. And to be quite honest, it was the flying DeLorean in a street race.
Oh boy,
that really got me pumped. With a whole lot of other vehicles and references from other movies as well. But I love Back to the Future, so I saw that and I'm like, okay, I'm going to check this book out. So the basics of this book is it's set in the far future where the energy crisis has occurred, I suppose, and there's all the oil's run out and that sort of thing, and overpopulation, stuff like that. I think it's set in 2040s.
Yeah, 2044, according to the brief.
2044, yeah. So quite a way away. And basically, there's this massive online MMO game, which this is why I think the RuneScape players would enjoy it, where everyone jumps in with virtual reality into the game and everyone's playing it all the time pretty much. It's basically like Second Life on steroids. And so the main character basically goes on a hunt for this Easter egg, which the creator of the world had placed in there just before he passed away. And everybody's going for it, trying to find it. And it's just like, it's an interesting story to do with video games. And I think everyone who listens to the show should check it out.
That sounds very interesting because you mentioned that everyone is plugged into VR, and it almost sounds as though it's a major escape from the world that they live in, which it sounds like they would want to escape with that. And that's precisely why people play games and interact with online communities. And in most points, it was initially at some point, I think, for each of us to have an escape from something. And we just found the communities that we have, and as a result of that, have stuck around. So this takes us up to probably a factor of 10 on that regard.
Or even more so.
Yeah. And
it's crazy, the technology in this world.
Do you think we could ultimately end up some way seeing some kind of VR like this? It's not like a brain link or anything. It's just it's an actual game, right?
I think at some point it talks about how you put on the visor and it's shooting the lasers into your retinas and that sort of thing. So it's like really really in there. So it's probably possible, but I guess that's why it's set in 2044.
Yeah. There's another movie on this, not to take away from the pick of the week. It was, I think it was also based on a book. It was Surrogates, in 2009 or something around there. Basically everyone lived in an online kind of world like that, because, the real world just wasn't worth living in anymore. So,
yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. Yeah. The outside world is just, where the main character lives is in a trailer park, but instead of just being what you'd imagine a trailer park is a big field with single level trailers, there's multiple stacks of trailers popped on top of each other. It sounds very dangerous.
So it's almost like the Borg then.
Yeah, I guess this is Star Trek. Well, I was actually about to do the Star Trek reference myself because basically this game has taken, the company that makes the game, I suppose, has taken over like the entire world, and they have like basically every single copyright. So they're Facebook in 20 years.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah. So they have basically, like every game is in this game. So they actually mention there's like a World of Warcraft, like actual World of Warcraft world, and there's a Star Wars world, and there's a Star Trek world, of course. So it's really interesting. So people can go off and just play these separate games in this game.
Does it touch into anything about the physical, how the physical would degrade? Like what happens to the bodies of these people who are always in the air?
Yeah, they mention it. Like they have the main character, he makes sure he does exercise and stuff, and he actually at one point, he, not really a spoiler, he locks himself out of his system unless he's done a certain amount of exercise a day. So it's really
okay. So it does address that. That's good.
Yeah, that's quite interesting, and it's actually. One point he gets that sort of VR, which you've probably seen videos of and stuff, where they have those treadmills, those Omni treadmills. Yep. He really gets into it later on. So, yeah, I guess that would be quite exercise-inducing as well.
Yeah, and I think the scary part about this is that VR is advancing quickly here, that at some point we could ultimately get to this stage.
Yep, and we could all be stuck in there just forever.
All right, Ready Player One. That's sounds like a good pick of the week, if not a little bit disturbing.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So so everyone should get out there, read it, and then the film comes out next year. It's actually directed by Steven Spielberg. So.
Ooh, okay. If Steven Spielberg's putting his name behind it, that should be good.
Yeah. Even just go if you want to go watch the trailer. I'd say you could because it's not really. It doesn't really spoil the book. So.
Let me see.
Check that out as well.
Yeah. Let's see if I can pull that up quickly here and see what it is. No, I can't. Oh yeah, SDCC trailer here.
Yeah, Comic-Con, I think it was. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, you don't. If anyone wants to watch the trailer, don't worry about being spoiled because it's the first trailer in quite a while, which actually doesn't really have spoilers.
And it's it's framed as though it's a video game because they say exclusive teaser. And it's got that whole video game look to it.
Yeah, I think in the book they mentioned that the world, nearly looks like photorealistic, but I think the movie they've sort of made it so it sort of still looks like a video game a little bit, but it's some sort of new technology they're using.
Okay, here's the trailer parks you said stacked up.
Yeah, there you
go. Someone coming down to the very end there, and then we see the person on their VR device.
That's the one, yeah. They go into a world, and there's heaps of Easter eggs in the trailer and the book of all these different video games and movies and books, and It's mostly set with references to the 80s, but there's stuff in there from
Yeah, 80s
the
is good.
90s.
80s
Yeah,
is
yeah.
good.
So I think if you're a fan of the 80s, you'll get it a lot more. But me being from the 90s, it's still I couldn't put the book down there. Well, I listened to the audio book.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Audiobooks are good. I agree with that. I know there are people who say...
Read by Will Wheaton, which I suppose you
Really?
know. Yeah,
Really?
he does a good job.
I did not know he did that.
Mm.
Okay, now we're seeing some of the video game features here in the trailer. I don't know.
I think there's
almost looks like a Call of Duty or Gears of War style game going on with the headline, "Are you ready?"
Yeah,
and everyone going into their VR sets.
I think at one point there's an orc firing a machine gun, and so
yes, I saw that.
there you go. I think that there's different magic worlds and tech worlds. And so, you've got, World of Warcraft sort of stuff, RuneScape sort of things, and then you've got, Call of Duty games.
So my next question to people is, with something like this coming to movies, could you imagine what it would be like if you had the ability to spend time in an actual RuneScape world and see people's different avatars?
Yeah, so they don't mention it in the book, but there would be, in this world, there would be a RuneScape world. Yeah. So, yeah, I'd be going there.
Oh, boy. Oh, that just shows where we're headed as a world. It could either be very interesting or very bad. But
it will definitely be interesting.
All right, so that's Ready Player One. Good pick of the week. What have you been up to this week on RuneScape?
I've been slacking. I have actually been doing the beach a little bit, but okay. I'm gonna get back into it, especially when those achievements come out. But I've been playing a bit of Elite Dangerous, which I suppose you've heard of that one too, have you?
Yes, I have.
It's a great space game.
Yeah, I think you actually recommended it to me at some point as well. I haven't had a chance to go around and have a look at it yet. But as for
maybe a future pick of the week.
Yeah, maybe, potentially, yeah. As for me this week on RS, I have been doing the beach. I got 97 Hunter, as I mentioned, a couple of clue scrolls here and there, and I got Herblore XP from something. I don't recall what I did for Herblore, though. Probably just cleaning herbs, which is really quite shocking to see the amount of XP you can get when you're just farming those up all the time. Currently debating getting back into Slayer. Did you do any Slayer post 120 when that came out?
Yep. I went out and became a Pokemon Master for quite a while. And,
good.
Captured up those souls, so I should probably get back to that as well.
Okay.
That's actually really fun, especially going back and killing cows and goblins. Just brought me back.
All right. Well, I believe that's it then for this episode. Anything else you'd like to mention? What you've been up to? Anything RS related at all?
Oh, just I'm excited for next week's show, which we won't spoil, will we, Shane?
No, we won't.
Like we normally do.
No, we won't. All right. Well, with that being said, thank you for joining us, everyone, and sharing your time with us. And we'll see you next week for another episode of RSBANDB Update.